Hi everyone, it's me, Allie. Welcome back to my little bookish channel. Today we are talking about Women's Prize for Fiction Predictions. I can't believe it's book award season already. I'm so bloody excited. Anyway, if you don't know, last year I did basically this video. It's a survey of the internet's predictions for the Women's Prize for Fiction Longlist. Now, this year I stuck with booktubers. Last year I did bookstagrammers and book bloggers, but I didn't have time for that this year, unfortunately. It was just too much. So I stuck with booktubers' predictions for the Women's Prize for 2024. And honestly, they got me so excited. Some of these books, honestly, all of these books, they sound so good. So I'm going to structure this video as follows. I'm going to first introduce the Women's Prize, if you don't already know what it is. I feel like we all know, but I'm just going to do a very brief summary of what it is. I'm going to literally read from the website. And then I'm going to talk about the booktubers that I surveyed and thank them. And then I'm going to talk about the books that were mentioned. I'm not going to give blurbs or anything. I'm literally going to say the title and the author, and that's it. And then the last part of this video is going to be the ultimate booktube prediction list for the Women's Prize. It's going to have 16 of the top voted books, like the top books that were mentioned in all the videos that I watched. And yeah, this time I think when the actual long list comes out, I might do a reaction to it and then compare it to the long list that booktube, collectively created by doing this. I don't know, we shall see, but let's get straight into it. Okay, so what is the Women's Prize? The Women's Prize for Fiction, because they have a non-fiction award now. It was the first time this year that they started that, but the Women's Prize for Fiction is a literary award for any woman writing in English, whatever her nationality, country of residence, age, or subject matter. Books must be published in the UK. So there are some books that if you're Aussie like me or like from New Zealand, they were published a couple years ago, but are now only being published in the UK, so they're actually technically eligible. Yeah, it's confusing. Anyway. Books must be published in the UK between the 1st of April 2023 and the 31st of March 2024. Okay, so the long list gets announced on the 5th of March, which I think for Australia is like 5 a.m. the 6th of March, 6 a.m. Is it in the morning or is it in the afternoon? Pretty sure it's in the morning of Wednesday. So we get it first thing the next day. The shortlist gets announced on the 24th of April and the winner is the 13th of June. I believe, don't quote me on it, that the non-fiction Women's Prize also gets announced the same day or something like that, along those lines, possibly. There's a judging panel. The panel is made up of 5 women, all passionate readers and at the top of their respective professions. And so the 2024 judges are Monica Ali, Oyabami Adebayo, Laura Dockrell, Anna Whitehouse, and Indira Varma. That's very exciting. So let's get to cracking. The booktubers that I surveyed for this video are as follows. We have Savage Reads, Gem of Books, Ben Reads Good, Charlie Brooke Reads, Charlotte Malloy, Alice and the Giant Bookshelf, Show Me Your Shelfie, Thoroughly Enjoyed Books, Major Book, Roshan's Reading. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing names. Mercy's Bookish Musings, Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, Major Book, Jess at Comfort Reads. We also have Stalking Kafka, Lenny Iverson, Anna James, Eric Carl Anderson, Dusty Book Sniffers, Shelley Swearingen, and Hasty Books. Did I repeat some? I'm sorry if I repeat some, but Everything, I'll link literally everything in the description box below so you know where I have gotten this information. So in total, these channels mentioned 129 books. I know, quite a lot. So let me just go down my list. I'm going to mention every book that was talked about in those videos, and then I'm going to give us all the top 16. Let's do this. The Storm We Made by Vanessa Chan, Pet by Catherine Chidgley. I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. Bally's by Nicola Dinan, Mongrel by Hanako Footman, The Painter's Daughters by Emily Howe, A Sign of Her Own by Sarah Marsh, A History of Burning by Janika Oza, Tom Lake by Anne Patchett, Greta and Valden by Rebecca K. Riley, 15 Wild Decembers by Karen Powell, The Fraud by Zadie Smith, The Night Alphabet by Joelle Taylor, Let Us Descend by Jessamine Ward, Ghost Girl Banana by Wiz Wharton, The House of Broken Bricks by Fiona Williams, Stoneyard Devotional by Charlotte Wood, Clear by Carice Davies? Sorry about that. The List of Suspicious Things by Jenny Godfrey, The Story of the Forest by Linda Grant, The Vaster Wilds by Lauren Groff, Biography of X by Catherine Lacey, River East, River West by Aubrey Lescure, Western Lane by Chetna Maru, Julia by Sandra Newman, Night Bloom by Peace Adzo Modi, Lublin by Maya Wilkinson, Land of Milk and Honey by C. Pam Zhang, Headshot by Rita Bullwinkle, Orbital by Samantha Harvey, Enter Ghost by Isabella Hamad, Loot by Tanya James, Soldier Sailor by Claire Kilroy. I literally feel like I'm a TV anchor on the news. Dominoes by Phoebe McIntosh, Chrysalis by Anna Metcalf, The Center by Aisha Menazia Siddiqui, The Extinction of Arena Ray by Jennifer Croft, The Lagos Wife by Vanessa Walters, The Great Reclamation by Rachel Heng, Wrong Way by Joanna McNeil, Sunburn by Chloe Michelle Howarth. My accent makes things so much more difficult. Fane by Anne-Marie McDonald, Come and Get It by Kylie Reid, Absolution by Alice McDermott, The East Indian by Brinda Chari, Penance by Eliza Clark, Bright Young Woman by Jessica Knoll, Piglet by Lottie Hazel, The Long Form by Kate Briggs, I Am Homeless If This Is Not My Home by Laurie Moore, In Memory of Us by Jacqueline Roy, Herc by Phoenicia Rogerson, Remember by Allie McRae, I can't speak today, The Rachel Incident by Caroline O'Donoghue, Jaded by Ella Lee, Good Material by Dolly Alderton, The Collective Regrets of Clover by Mickey Brummer, The Wren by Anne Enright, Study for Obedience by Sarah Bernstein, Mrs. Gulliver by Valerie Martin, Evil Eye by Etaf Rum, The Museum of Failures, The Museum of Failures by Thriti Umrigar, Hidden Fires by Sayrish Hussain, Playing Games by Humar Qureshi, Bird Life by Anna Small, Falling Animals by Sheila Armstrong, Night Swimmers by Roshin Maguire. I apologise if I'm mispronouncing any of these names. Yellowface by R.F. Kwong, The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters, The Vulnerables by Sigrid Nunez, Reproduction by Louisa Hall, Talking at Night by Claire Daverley, Sleeping Giants by Renee Denfield, How to Build a Boat by Elaine Feeney, Ordinary Human Failings by Megan Nolan, Rosewater by Liv Little, The Memory of Animals by Claire Fuller, Bro Tipsy? I don't know how to pronounce this title. Is it Bro Tipsy by Christina Cook? Is that even the name? Did I miswrite that? The Middle Daughter by Chika Unigwe, Pride and Joy by Louisa Onomi, The Children of This Madness by Gemini Wahaj, Absolutely and Forever by Rose Tremaine, Praiseworthy by Alexis Wright, Oh Sister by Jodie Chapman, The Reformatory by Tanarive Du, Service by Sarah Gilmartin, Three Fires by Denise Mina, The Great Divide by Christina Henriquez, The Blueprint by Ray Jana Rashad. Breakdown by Kath Sweeney. Interesting Facts About Space. I love space. Anyway, Interesting Facts About Space by Emily Austin. Happiness Falls by Angie Kim. Family Law by Elizabeth Acevedo. Top Doll by Karen McCarthy Wolf. Atalanta by Jennifer Saint. Learned by Heart by Emma Donoghue. How to Be Somebody Else by Miranda Pountney. Miranda Pountney? I'm so sorry. Red String Theory by Lauren Kung Jessen. A Love Story for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. Restless Dolly Maunder by Kate Grenville. The Mess We're In by Annie McManus. Pearl by Sian Hughes. Hello Beautiful by Anna Napolitana. I Have Some Questions for You by Rebecca Mackay. Poor Dear by Claire Oshetsky. Acts of Forgiveness by Maura Chess. A Fire So Wild by Sarah Ruiz Grossman. A House for Alice by Deanna Evans. The Sleeping Car Porter by Suzette Mayer. 8 Lives of a Century-Old Trickster by Mireille Lee. But the Girl by Jessica Zahn May Yu. A Council of Dolls by Mona Susan Power. One of the Good Guys by Araminta Hall. Where the Heart Should Be by Sarah Crossman. The Tower by Flora Carr. Little Monsters by Adrienne Brodieu. Lady Tan's Circle of Women by Lisa C. Disturbance by Jenna Clark. Ghost Season by Fatana Buss. The Road to Dalton by Shannon Bowring. The Glutton by A.K. Blakemore. Sally Brady's Italian Adventure by Christina Lynch. Terrace Story by Hilary Laker. Mobility by Lydia Kissling. The Princess by Wendy Holden. Alphabetical Diaries by Sheila Heti. I thought that was a non-fiction. Anyway, August Blue by Deborah Levy. And Promise by Rachel Eliza Griffiths. They are the 129 books that were all mentioned by the various booktubers that I previously stated, and they will all be listed down below. I will also list, if I remember, my Excel spreadsheet that I made, if that is something that you're interested in, because I just like this sort of stuff. Anyway, they're all the books. Now I should say, just as a caveat, that I had to have like a deadline for this, or else I could be waiting and just adding to the list like every day, because a lot of people are closer to when the long list is announced, they're putting out their predictions, but I had to give myself a deadline. So I apologize if you have uploaded a predictions video and I didn't include it. It's just know that it was because of time, and I sincerely apologize. So yes. Anyway, let's go to the next part of this video, which is the most exciting part of this video. It's the top 16. It's the top 16. Let's just go right into it. From number 16, I'm going to go backwards from 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, etc. So from number 16 to number 12, these are all interchangeable. It's not until really we get to the top 5 that the rankings are important, if that makes sense, because we have a lot of mentions that were like all 5s, like 5 times these books were mentioned. So the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books, the next 5 books were mentioned 5 separate times. So just because I've labeled a book 15 doesn't necessarily mean it's number 15. You could put it literally anywhere in the last 5 of this list. Does that make sense? Whereas the top 5, we could say the top 3 really had to be in the top 3 because of the amount of times that they were mentioned. Whereas the other ones, there were like a couple that had 9, a couple that had 8, a couple that had 6, and 5 that had 5, which is very strange, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Does that make sense? So coming at number 16 is The Vulnerables by Sigrid Nunez with 5 mentions. We then have Penance by Eliza Clark coming in at 15 with, again, 5 mentions. Number 14, we have Nightbloom by Peace Adzo Modi with, again, 5 mentions. Number 13, we have Western Lane by Chetna Maru that comes with, again, 5 mentions. And number 12, we have The House of Broken Bricks by Fiona Williams with 5 mentions. Number 11, The Rachel Incident by Caroline O'Donoghue with 6 mentions. Number 10, we have Pet by Catherine Chidgley with 6 mentions again. Number 9, we have The Wren by Anne Enright with 8 mentions. In number 8, we have The Fraud by Zadie Smith with 8 mentions, which actually really surprised me. I forgot that Zadie Smith released something. I have a very tumultuous relationship with Zadie Smith. I like her non-fiction work, but I really struggle with her fiction work. So, which I found a lot of people, when they were mentioning The Fraud in their long list predictions, a lot of them said that, like, yeah, like, we have a bit of a weird relationship with Zadie Smith. Like, I don't necessarily like a lot of her work, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people consider The Fraud by Zadie Smith a shoo-in because of the fact that she's quite a big name. And I think she's won the Women's Prize before, or nominated for the Women's Prize before. So a lot of people are expecting The Fraud by Zadie Smith, but it'll be interesting to see like what happens, because last year we had a couple like major players be part of the long list, you know, Maggie O'Farrell and Barbara Kingsolver, and they also made the short list. And then Demon Copperhead won by Barbara Kingsolver. So I wonder if this time around the Women's Prize panel is like, oh no, like let's try and steer clear away from big names, or like try and focus more on like maybe not so much big names. It'll be interesting to see, but a lot of people, as you can tell, consider The Fraud by Zadie Smith like at least definitely being on the long list. Number 7 is Land of Milk and Honey by C. Pam Zhang with 9 votes. And then we have Enter Ghost by Isabella Hamad with 9 mentions as well, coming in at number 6. Again, would be really interested to see if the Women's Prize nominates this on the long list, because unfortunately, a lot of awards seem to steer clear from making any sort of overt political statements. I feel like the values of the Women's Prize leans into it long listing a book like that, like Enter Ghost by Isabella Hamad. Like, you call yourself a feminist, you know? Anyway, number 5 is Soldier Sailor by Claire Kilroy with 10 mentions. This one I'm really interested in. Number 4, we have The Storm We Made by Vanessa Chan with 10 mentions again. So The Storm We Made and Soldier Sailor, a lot of people, 10 out of the, how many? At least 20. We'll say at least 20, 19, 18. So we'll say like over half mentioned. So again, interested, pretty sure Claire Kilroy is an Irish author. I love Irish fiction. And I feel like the Women's Prize always sprinkles in some Irish authors. Okay, coming in the top 3. What do you think? Write down below. What are your top 3 predictions for this prediction survey list? You can pause me, I'm waiting. Thank you very much. Okay, number 3, with 12 mentions. Let Us Descend by Jessamine Ward. I honestly thought that was going to win. It felt like everyone was mentioning that book. Number 2, Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. We all knew it. We all knew it was going to be a bit high on the list. Again, this one, almost everyone I felt like was mentioning Anne Patchett. Be interesting to see, again, like what I said before in regards to Zadie Smith, if they're going to put authors that are huge names in the industry on the list, especially in the aftermath of last year's prize being won by a huge name. We'll see. And then number one, that really, for some reason, surprised me. I don't know, it must have gone under the radar for me, but also at the same time, I haven't read the original book that it's kind of based on. It's a feminist retelling. It's Julia by Sandra Newman with 15 votes. What a list. I don't know about you, but I think like every book on this prediction survey long list and interests me. Like on some level, they interest me. But even the 129 that I wrote down, so interesting, so cool. I feel like as a community, booktube is just, they've got their finger on the pulse. So it'd be really cool to see if we can trust booktubers' predictions. Anyway, that is my video. Very quick, very chatty, very easy. I just really wanted to get this out because I'm so excited for this long list. If you have any books that you like really desperately want to be on this long list, please let me know below. I know personally that there are some that didn't make the top 16 prediction survey list. I really want to read The Night Alphabet by Joelle Taylor. That sounds just so fascinating. Stoneyard Devotional by Charlotte Wood as well is very interesting to me. Orbital by Samantha Harvey, I think as well, but I don't know if like technically eligible. Is it eligible? I'm not too sure. Loot by Tanya James as well. And there was another one I think called Reproduction. Yes, Reproduction by Louisa Hall. That kind of seems really interesting. How to Build a Boat as well by Elaine Feeney. The way that Scott at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot like talked about it makes me intrigued to read it. Ordinary Human Failings by Megan Nolan is a book that I've been seeing a lot, but I don't know. I think I'm a bit scared to pick up Megan Nolan because her first book, Acts of Desperation, I wasn't necessarily like intrigued by or attracted to. So I'm kind of like, I don't know yet to pick that up. But there's just so many. There's just so many. Like I'm gonna keep this list because I feel like this is basically gonna be my TBR. Like I'm gonna add all the books to my Goodreads TBR because this is just so fantastic. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I just have so much fun doing this for some ungodly reason. I am definitely going to be reacting to the long list announcement. However, I'm working on that day, so I'm gonna try and be spoiler free. Like I have to like not go online the entire day I'm at work and film my reaction when I either get home or the following morning. How am I gonna like stop myself from checking Instagram? It's gonna be insane because I just want to know what's on the long list. At this point in time, I'm not sure if I'll be able to read the long list, so I'm not going to commit to doing a vlog series where I read the long list like I did last year, even though I desperately want to. But again, work has been crazy. I'm working 2 jobs, so I don't really have much time anymore, it feels like, and my reading has lessened as a result of that. If anything changes, I'll let you know. I'm going to try. I feel like at this point in time, I'm definitely going to be reading the shortlist, but the long list is still a question mark. I feel like once I know what the long list is, I can make more of a judgment as to whether I can commit, but as of right now, I have no idea. So other than that, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you would like to. That would be really cool. And as always, stay safe and take care. Happy reading, and I'll see you sometime next week. Okay, bye friends.